Morning, YouTubers. It's a beautiful day out. As you can see, it's like 40 degrees, which is kind of odd for Indiana in February. My hair is all jacked up because I just got out of bed. And we're going to work on the passenger side subframe connector from Team Z. So, but first I got to finish brewing this coffee, then we'll head out to the shop. But I'll just recap a little bit on the last few weeks because it's been a while since I uploaded last time. I went to Florida for a week, and it just so happened to work out that SCT was going on in Bradenton the same time I was there, and I went checked it out, got to see all the roll racing and a couple sets of cars go down, and then it started to drizzle and the weather app did not look good for the rest of the time. So I did get to check out Cleus and Jeremy's setups, you know, their big tents and all that stuff. TT Minion was there, got to check that car out, and was blown away at how stock it was. There was also there was a green SN95 Cobra that was down there, and that thing was really stock, like battery mount, still original location, and he was turboed, and I got to watch him run. But the ironic thing is, just like at Indy getting rained out last year when I was there, this year it got rained out also. So alright, gonna finish brewing this coffee and we'll be out in the shop in a bit. See ya. What's up, everybody? Back in the shop, and just give you a quick rundown of what I've been up to with the cars since it's been a little while. So, as you can see, got the trunk pan cut out, and the rear end is out as well. The reason I decided to do this was because about maybe a month ago, or it was pretty much right before my last upload, we had like a 50-degree day here in Indiana. So I took advantage of that and did some sandblasting, and then did this cutout, and you know, it just seemed like a good day. The sandblasting, I don't know if I can recommend that to anybody because that makes a complete mess. I still got sand falling out of places in this thing. If we go back to the front, you can see that the K-member's out. When I did sandblasting, I sandblasted all up in here trying to clean it up so I get those bolts out, and none of them came out easily. I think one, I did have to PB blaster it, but it did come out, and then all the rest I had to cut, which is a pain in the butt. But it's out. Got that. Let's see what else we got. I got all my floorboards sealed up because that seam right there where it goes to the bulkhead is not in the best of shape. So before we go and put our subframe connectors in, I wanted to get that sealed up. And I even welded up this pinch seam. I was underneath the car and I could see daylight through the seam. So I banged it all back, cleaned it up, and welded it up. Also leveled the car out. Basically, you want your car to be nice and level, so that way it's easy as you're installing things to have a reference of where you are in relation to the car. If you don't, then it can be, you can end up, you know, really screwing yourself in the end. So what I did was bought these ease lift they're not really a jack. What they're used for is RVs. So people will have these stowed away in their RV. When they get somewhere, they'll then take these out, stick them underneath their RV into the frame, and then they can have a nice stable RV that's not shaking around as they're walking through it. I only bought 2 of them and wish I would have bought 4, because the car does lean to the one side a little bit, or actually it leans low in the front about a little more than half a degree, I think it was, like 0.6 degrees. But it's not too big a deal because it's consistent on both sides. So as long as I remember that it is leaning forward already, I shouldn't have an issue. But it would have been nice to have 4 of them. That way I could have got it totally zeroed out. And to do the leveling, I bought one of these little digital levels here, actually inclinometer. If you want to look on the internet for one, just look up digital angle finder or inclinometer, and this is a Wixie. I forget what the model number is. Oh, there it is. It is the WR365. The reason I bought this one, because they have a couple other ones. Let's see if I can get this in the camera right. Let me get out of the car. You can see on this one, there's a upper number and then a lower number. This upper number is your absolute level, so this is in relation to the earth. This lower number here, you can actually use, it's relative. So you set it on something and then you hit the 0 button, which is this one here, and it'll zero that out. So you could be, how to say this, you could set it on something and then hit 0, and that'll be your 0 point, and then you could put on something else to see where it is angle wise compared to your first point. A lot of wood shop guys use these for finding the angle on their circular saw blades or table saw blades, and that thing was like $30, 35 bucks. It's a good tool to have around. You can use it on pinion angle, you can use anything. They make other models, which I saw on Fat House Fab YouTube video while they were doing a roll cage install on an S197, I think it was. And they had one of those and they showed it, and I really liked it because it's tiny. It also does have a V-groove in it on the bottom, and it's magnetic. So it'll be good for pipes. And the one that they use on Fat House Fab didn't have that absolute measurement, so I didn't want to get that, because if you don't know what absolute is, then it's kind of hard to judge if your car is actually level. It could, your thing might read 0 degrees, but it might be 3 degrees one way or the other. So unless you have a flat surface to start it off, zero it out on, and then you're good. But that just seemed like too much of a hassle, so I got that one, which might have been like $5 more. Not a big deal. But yeah, so the car, as you can see, it's pretty darn level. It says it says 0 there, so I'm good there. And then that's just using the seat bulkhead. And then for so that's telling me driver's side, passenger side level. And then on for front to back level, I'm just checking on the rocker, and see right there it says 0.7 degrees leaning forward. So and then for where I'm checking that at, I just kind of went with this rib so I got a good eyeball point for when I'm checking from side to side. And so I set it there, and then I just went to the other side, set it down and checked, and it was the same. So it tells me the chassis is nice and rigid, it's not loose. That would be bad if that was the case, but everything's good there. So like I said in the intro, today we're going to talk about actually installing the Team Z through floor subframe connectors here on this passenger side. You can see I have it laying in here. Let me move this. I have a subframe connector laying in here like this, just kind of give an idea of where it's going to go. But another easy way to know where you got to cut is these pinch welds. You can see right here, these connect the floorboards to the subframe, this actual subframe, front subframe. And I don't know if you can see it very well. I did mark a line of, you can see here, we'll end up cutting up to about here, and then I'll just bend right there, cut back down through here on the floorboard. But the first thing you want to do is cut out here and remove this section of where the seat bolts to. And for that, we'll use an auto body saw and some pinch weld cutters. Alright, so I got the connector set in place. It's pretty snug, doesn't really move around a whole bunch, but you want to make sure it's in there. And once you have it set in place, there's this high ridge right here. You can see that it's sitting on, and you can see, let's see, I don't know if you can tell, you can see over here that it's sitting way high to this frame, or the subframe. So we're gonna basically just create a mark right there, and one on this side as well, so we know how wide we need to be. The big thing is with cutting the floorboards, you want to be close to the connector because you got to weld the floorboard back to it, so that way it's all sealed up. Alright guys, I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened, but my audio did not capture with the video for some reason. I'm going to play the video on my computer and let you know what's going on. So I cut out the ridge. I'm showing you that there. And you can see that it's sitting down much lower. And all I did to cut that out was use an auto body saw. I don't know what I'm talking about right here. Babbling about something. Just babble, babble, babble. Now I'm talking about how, from everything I've noticed and from pictures that I've seen of installations of the Team Z kit, it seems like where the connector meets up to that plate, half an inch above the floorboard. So just pointing that out, it seems that when it's resting right on that seat reinforcement plate is about the correct height, from what I can tell from pictures. And I'm talking here about how I'm going to take and tack the connector to the plate and pull the whole thing out, weld the bottom side of the connector to the plate, so that way the connector will be fully welded to the plate, and then I'll just weld the plate as far as I can to that bulkhead, the seat bulkhead. So that pretty much sums up the whole process of cutting the floorboards to fit the connector. Thank you for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video when we weld the connectors in.